Hey there, it's Amaradeia, and I've never done one of these videos before, but I figured I had to start somewhere, so why not? At first, I was going to do kind of like a VOD review sort of a thing where I review my own games and then I pick apart my play style and try to figure out the things that I need to do in order to get better, because really, the only person I can control in this entire game is myself. You guessed it. So, while I would like to sit there sometimes and I would like to look at my teammates and say, if you only did this or if they only did that, we would have won, or I wouldn't have died there, or I could have gotten a big play. I'm not helping my team with that attitude. And I'm hopefully, if my teammates are having similar thoughts, they're going to end up fixing themselves so that they can be helping their team more too. Well, with that being said, I was playing this morning on a Sunday, just chilling as I usually do, and I encountered a player that was kind of an asshole. There's just really no other way to put it. Now, I don't have a thick skin. I admit that, and that's fine. So I know that there are going to be people that are going to trigger me in certain ways. I also know that I'm not alone in that, and that there might not be other people that are neurodivergent like myself, or just in other situations where maybe they're a little bit more sensitive to that sort of feedback or toxicity. And you know what? When you embody or personify, that kind of toxic know-it-all or just any kind of toxic attitude, you're really hurting your team and you're hurting those players. And those things can have really far-reaching or kind of long-serving impacts. And folks don't think about that kind of stuff because neurodivergent players, maybe we don't speak up enough or people just don't care. But not cool, guys. So let's try to be a little bit more mindful of our teammates and a little bit more mindful of the diversity of people that we play against and with. That being said, I ended up playing I ended up playing two games with this one person. And at first, he was on the opposite team of me in my first game. We won that game, and in the public match chat, this person decided to say that their Zen was the worst Zen that they ever played with, and their teammates were awful and sucked, and it was just, a mess. I was like, okay. Initially, when I saw that, when somebody speaks up like that, usually, methinks the lady doth protest too much. Usually it's them projecting their own inadequacies on another player. And and let's be honest here. Maybe I'm a little bit biased as a support main, but I feel like supports tend to get shit on pretty much consistently because it's really easy to turn around, point a finger at one of your peeps trying to, pump heals into you as fast as they can and avoid, 7 people trying to fucking gank them and fuck with them at the same time. But they didn't do their job, so therefore they suck. Not always the case, right? Most Overwatch players know that kind of thing. But if you're going to posture as somebody that knows it all, at least back up your shit, man, right? So, enter this next game. This is on Dorado, and it's not competitive, obviously. It's just quick play. But, I play some of my most awesome and fun games in quick play, so I find it entertaining, and I hope you do too. Anyway, so for this second game, Mr. T is on my team, and I'm like, okay, automatically I know this guy's going to have some shit going on. But let's see if maybe his frustrations were real. For all we know, that Zen could have been playing horribly for a number of reasons, right? Maybe they're new to the game. Maybe they're just not very good at it. It's quick play. Right? Who cares? So I go in, I'm playing Mercy, and I don't know. Let's go ahead and start here. Let's see. We want to... Oh, they're not in here yet. So we're going to play this. And let's see here. There's our Doom. We don't want our Doom. There we go. F6. We want Mr. T. I was apparently backfill on this game. I guess their other person left. I didn't know that until afterwards. Yep, look, there I am. Okay, so I'm F1, Mr. Team is F2. The reason why I'm going to start from Mr. T's perspective is because he's the one that's complaining, right? He's the one that's saying that our team is, you know, not doing what they're doing. Now, already while we are walking out of spawn, Mr. T has spammed the I need heals button about 2 or 3 times, I guess, to confirm that, you know, the healers, us stupid brainless fucking support people, know that the tank needs heals. So, of course, I'm tucked behind the wall over here, trying to keep heals on the Orisa because she's right fucking here where the enemy is. And for the most part, our team comes to sort of play on this corner. Now, you'll see that diva that comes to our back line up in the back, and nobody does anything about her. So our diva kills one of our players and causes other fucking havoc. I managed to duck behind the payload and res our Orisa so that maybe we can somehow salvage this fight, and to give this person just one more chance to show that they actually have the fucking chops to back up all of this bullshit that they're talking. Now, at this time, we are also in voice chat. And I have been avoiding voice chat and text chat for the past month, I would say, in order to see how it might affect my playing in my games. And honestly, I climbed 300 SR in competitive, and that was pretty awesome. I was very excited about that for myself. Our Orisa, Mr. T, is now on their way back to the fight. They are talking in voice chat about where everybody needs to be positioned and whatnot, and how tanks need to be on the payload, support needs to be on the tanks, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yes. I'm like, okay, I get that, and I get behind it. I said, but you don't always have to be on top of the payload. If the fight's going awry, and, you know, the other team has a composition that just kind of edges out our team, you have to adjust your playstyle. And what I was trying to tell this person in voice chat, while also trying not to neglect my, you know, support and healer status, is that you also have to play to your team. If your team is not able to maybe keep up with you exactly, and, you know, because you're so amazing, how amazing are you if you cannot actually realize that your team is not at that level or can't play in a particular style? If you're so amazing, you should also then be able to adjust to your team's play style, and we'll win the game, right? Sounds logical. By this point, I was so frustrated with this person who just kept completely diving into the middle of the team without the rest of us, let alone support, because I can only pocket this person for so long until I'm in the middle of the fight, and that's not a place where I want to be as support. Mercy does not do well in crowds, okay? Let's just be honest. And I'm a Mercy main, so I did start this fight playing Mercy. You'll see this is where I got out of voice chat because our Orisa was just, they were making me tilt in my brain. I was like, nope, not gonna let this. Not today, Satan. At this point, this person is now typing in text chat. One of our other teammates was trying to explain about the chokes, and I agreed with them, and I said, exactly. I said, we can, you know, the intent, the point, then once they start advancing the payload, hold them at the choke. You don't have to be on top of them. They can gain some ground. We can give up some ground in order to take up a more advantageous position. Mr. T, I pity the fool. I pity him. Mr. T apparently did not agree with this. And this was the part where I was saying the intent is to hold them at the choke. This would have been an incredible place to hold this team off before they could get to the second checkpoint. Our Orisa apparently disagreed, said that that's the way you lose games. And then now I realize, as I'm watching the playback, I didn't realize this before. They decided they were simply going to throw. So instead of helping, instead of shielding, instead of doing damage, instead of trying to create space and keep areas safe for our DPS to do their job and for our support to do our job, they decided to throw a temper tantrum because they're so super awesome at this game of Overwatch and throw. So let's go back to the middle of the fight here. I've switched to Moira, obviously. I did this a little while ago. The other support teammate switched to BAP quite a long time ago, which is one of the reasons why I did stay on Mercy a little bit longer than I would have normally, if only to see how the Baptiste affected our team composition, etc., etc. I didn't want to switch to Mercy when they had just switched to BAP, and then it just screwed a whole bunch of stuff up, you know. So, you know, if it was possible that we could have reclaimed the fight when they switched to Baptiste, that would have been great, right? But we didn't. So I switched to Moira. I'm trying to... Oh my gosh. See, this is where they switched to Baptiste. There's the Doomfist I'm trying to, you know, dodge and avoid. That's wreaking absolute havoc on both myself and the other support. There's no peels. Everybody is everywhere. And I mean, it makes sense, right? You've got one tank that's running in and going absolutely psycho. The other tank was playing a little bit more cautiously, and I don't know if that's simply because that's their play style, or they were trying to not die because Mr. T was being an asshole. And that's where I switched. I said, nope, not going in with you there, friend. And I went to take the more careful place with Sigma. Especially because Sigma had his ult, and when you damage boost to Sigma, to me, in my opinion, he already does pretty decent damage. So when you damage boost a high damage guy, I kind of figured, hey, this is good. This is good. This is where I switched to Moira. That's our Mr. T throwing and typing encyclopedia long things into the chat. And I'm heading back to the fight because I'm hoping we're going to go ahead and hold at this choke point. My poor Hanzo, trying to heal him. I'm out of juice, or I feel like I'm out of juice. I don't want to spray too much and overspray, and then lose all of my fuel. Our Rhine barrels on in to try and save us, but unfortunately is too late to help us with the Hanzo. They tried their best. Where's our Orisa at this point? Oh yeah, she's all the way back here. So she could have been out here with the Rhine helping us, and she wasn't. She was back in spawn, either just sitting, twiddling thumbs, and or typing, you know, and being obnoxious. And then taking their time coming back to point. And then not doing anything whatsoever. Like, I healed them. I don't know why I healed them, because she wasn't doing anything. I should have saved that and used it for somebody else. But you're in the middle of the fight. You know, you're just trying to do your job. You see a teammate that's, you know, down some health. You pump them up.
Join me.
All right,
I
so
require medical attention.
now we're gonna look at my play, and as you can see, I used the group up and the I need healing app emotes, because I was trying to tell the Orisa to come to me for healing and group up and come to me for healing. I hear the Doomfist. I look around to see who he's going to thing. Our Ana's already dead because she went bad positioning. I know Mr. T is going to be playing super aggressive, so I'm trying to play as close to them as I can, by still trying to use this corner wall as a barrier between me and the rest of the team so I don't get ganked. I didn't do that as well as I should have. I should have been hugging that wall much tighter, but I got really lucky because of the level of people I play with. That was a risky res. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I thought I could get away with it, and I could, because I hid behind the payload and knew the enemy team was not looking at me. Mr. T is still standing over here, in spite of the fact that there are plenty of people in our back line fucking everybody else up, so by the time the rest of the team is gone, they have no idea, and they've got tunnel vision, sitting there and just, you know, shooting. Ooh, right click. So hard. Maybe they're a Bastion main. Who knows? My poor Brig is too far away for me to heal, so I stick with our Hanzo here. We try to hide in that corner, as you saw. Our Sigma comes to try to save us. Not paying too much attention to us. He probably could have done better at that, but, you know, nobody's perfect. I use Valkyrie because I have it, to get some AoE heals. And also for mobility, because everybody was kind of really spread apart for a little while, and I wanted to be able to move around and heal everybody that needed it. Plus, if I needed to switch, I didn't want to hold on to Valkyrie for too long and then end up delaying switching or possibly wasting an ult. So I was pretty pleased with this. I thought that was a pretty decent supercharger. It was pretty ballsy, I think, to put it at the very front of the payload with very limited coverage or anything like that, but it worked, and they did push the enemy team back, but it wasn't good enough. I think they might have pushed a little bit too hard and did not pay enough attention to the rest of our team. That Sombra player, I forget what they were originally playing before, but they really tried. I really believe that both of our DPS did try really hard, and I feel like our Sigma also tried. Alright, I decided not to go with our Orisa because she was going right into the front of the enemy, and that wasn't safe for me. So I followed our Sigma and got ganked by their Doomfist, who, of course, rightfully went for the squishy support player instead of the tanks. Here, I'm going to switch to Moira, because obviously Mercy's not giving enough output. I'm a little sad. I had 68% toward my next Valkyrie, but it was obvious Mercy wasn't working, so I just switched off, and hopefully I should be able to build ult charge as Moira pretty quickly. So here's my Hanzo. I'm trying to heal him. I'm like switching over to Moira mechanics. Trying not to waste all my heal juices because I know I'm going to need it, obviously. Only using heal orb. Especially at this point of engagement. At this point, our Orisa is still, you know, hanging out in spawn and not doing anything. They've decided to throw at this point. So it's really just 5v6. I'm trying to get the Orisa to help at this point, and of course I get ganked in the head and I try to run away. I need to get health. I didn't die, I should have died. Today on How the Hell Am I Still Alive? What's funny is they should have just stayed there. If they weren't planning on playing, they should have stayed in the little doorway there and then just died. Our poor Reinhardt. Just Leroy Jenkinsing it, I guess, because they feel like they have to. Considering our Orisa's not doing anything. They're coming around. Our Sombra's gonna try and get off a great ult. If only she had the support for it from the rest of our team. I've got Bap and Hanzo here. I mean, we just want to stay up, right? Doom's back, of course. Our Orisa's still in spawn. It's just utter complete mayhem and chaos and just nutso. I was typing back there. Don't do what I did. If someone's getting all salty and shit in chat, don't stop and type. Just keep playing the game. Although at this point, I think we all realized that obviously there was not going to do there was nothing that we could do to really win or counteract the enemy team there. But that's it. So thanks so much for joining me, and I hope you want to do it again. I will definitely be looking at my own play soon, probably in competitive matches, because I do want to keep ranking up. So I think I'm pretty much just going to end this. I thought this might have been more interesting and there was going to be more commentary on play styles, but considering the fact that our Orisa, Mr. T, whom I pity, decided that this game was not worth their time and decided to make the choice to throw, I really don't want to give that any more attention. But thanks for joining me on this first attempt at some kind of a video. And I hope you also enjoyed us getting our asses kicked. Well, we tried. Have a wonderful day, guys. Bye.